Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Jimmie freaking Ward. He used to be referred to as Mr. Glass because he got injured, I think, 3 out of the first 3 seasons. A lot of people were using the term bust, all those things. Hell no. Listen to what D'Amico Ryan says needs to happen for Jimmie Ward to have an all-pro season, and I completely agree with this.
I think Jimmie is an all-pro player. Sometimes those accolades, they can't come to everybody. Jimmie just has to remain the course and just go play football. Jimmie is one of the best football players I've ever been around. Just his instincts, his feel, playing that safety position, he is a really great football player. So sometimes the accolades, they don't show up. He just has to keep doing what he's doing, right? And he's continuing to get better. And Huff out there with him, they're both, I feel like both of those guys are working well together. And, Jimmie will, if it's meant for him to be all pro, he just keep playing ball. He doesn't have to worry about that status. That'll come. You just play ball, have fun, do what you're supposed to do, and those accolades and things will come.
It's difficult because I think the way teams are built matters, especially on the defensive side. The common fan doesn't understand defensive studs. I would be willing to say it's pretty easy to understand wide receivers. You got all the stats. It's pretty easy to understand running backs, quarterbacks. That's simple. But whenever you get into offensive line play, the average fan doesn't understand. When it comes to defense, you got sacks and then in interceptions. That's about it. So if you're not winning at one of those categories, you're not going to get noticed by the average fan. You have to watch. And then you've got name recognition almost completely, right? So like if you're a top 10 draft pick or from a top, power school in college, he was none of those things. He was a first round pick, but he was injured the first 3 years. So he kind of fell off the quote unquote map. It's hard to get back on that. And because he's not an interception guy, except for whenever he plays against the Rams, it's hard to overcome that. But make no mistake, Jimmie Ward is a leader of this team, not just secondary, not just defense. He is a leader, one of the longest tenured leaders of this team as well. And so he's been there for a minute. Him and number 27, Robbie Gould, guys have been around for a minute. So that's one thing. We'll see what happens with Huff. We've spent a lot of time on this podcast talking about him, but Jimmie Ward will have to carry this team on the back end. If Ward goes down, good gosh, that could be very, very problematic.
Hey, this your boy Frank Gore. I'm listening to 49er Rush, Niners all day.